There is a land of the living and a land of the dead, and the rich is love, the only survival, the only meaning. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentations. First of all, I am Ana Paola Verdier, and together with my team members Alfredo Tirado, Mirle Cedillo, and Jesus Joel Insunza, we are going to talk about the Day of the Dead. To begin, the Day of the Dead, it is a celebration that reunites the living and the dead. It is one of the most important holidays in Mexico, and we celebrate it in November every year. In these 2-day holidays, many families head to the cemetery on November 1st to welcome children and November 2nd to welcome deceased adults. It is believed that the souls of them come for one day from the Mictlan to see their family. During this time, the cemetery takes on an almost festive air. It is like a family reunion, except our dead relatives are the guests of honor. But why do we celebrate the Day of the Dead? This tradition has its origin long before the conquest in pre-Hispanic Mexico. The Mexica, one of the greatest cultures in our country and Latin America, had a very particular interpretation of the dead. They believe in the Mictlan, the underworld, where most of the deceased go, whose name literally means land of the dead. The Mictlan, it is divided into 9 levels through which one must pass by overcoming their trials to reach eternal rest. And according to the Mexica culture, the deceased make a 4-year journey to reach the Mictlan and are guided by a Xoloscuincle, that is a unique breed of dog native to Mexico. There's also 3 other places where the souls can go, depending on the cause of death.
In order for the souls to begin their journey, the living were in charge of accompanying them in the distance by means of a ritual. This began with the death of someone close to them. The death was announced with shouts and cries emitted by the elderly woman of the community. Afterwards, the body was shrouded with all his or her personal belongings, and then the body was symbolically fed with the most exquisite delicious. After 4 days, the body was taken to burial or cremation. From that moment on, the soul undertook the difficult journey. Then every year for 4 years, ostentatious ceremonies were held at the place where the ashes or the body of the deceased were found. This complex ritual not only helped to put the soul to rest, but also facilitates the mourning process of the relatives. With the arrival of the European population, this ritual underwent a process of acculturation. The Mexicans celebrated their dead after the harvest season, between the months of September and November. It was around this time that the Spanish conquistadors celebrated All Saints' Day and the Day of Faithful Departed. Upon conquering Mexico, the Catholic Church made the Day of the Dead celebrations on November 1 and 2, merging both traditions. After evangelizing the native Mexicans, ancestral practices such as burying the deceased at home changed to, for example, depositing their remains in churches. In addition, customs such as altars were adopted, where it is customary to pray for the deceased, put food, photographs, and belongings of the deceased that they were like in life. In modern times, the celebration takes the best of both cultures to celebrate our deceased.
In addition, customs such as altars were adopted, where it is customary to pray for the deceased, put food, photographs, and belongings of the deceased that he or she liked in life. In modern times, the celebration takes the best of the both cultures to celebrate our deceased. There are some states in our country that have their own way of celebrating the Day of the Dead. Each family has its own way of celebrating it, but the tradition that cannot be missing in every Mexican home is the altar. What does the altar of the dead have? The altar is a decorated table where we celebrate the life of our deceased, pray for their souls, and offer them their favorite dish, as well as the objects that belong to them in life. It has to represent the 4 elements: air, water, fire, and earth. That's why some of the elements that an altar should have be flowers, especially the cempasúchil flower, candles, copal, incense, water, salt, pan de muerto, calaveritas, papel picado, food, and photographs of our deceased.
But what do the elements
of an altar of the dead means. 1. Flowers. The main flowers offered to the deceased are the Flor Manuel León or the Flor de Cempasúchil in their purple, yellow, and orange colors. Their function is to scattered flowers petals to guide from the entrance of the house to the altar, where they are complete with wallflowers. Also, the smell of the flowers will guide the deceased to their offering. 2. Water and salt. Both water and salt are meaning of purity, so the salt helps the soul to be purified so it can go to the world of the dead, while the water is to mitigate the tears of the deceased before the long road he or she has traveled. 3. Candles. The path that the deceased traveled to reach the offering will be guided by the light of the candles, as well as to be able to return of the world of the dead. 4. Copal and incense. The smell of the elements represent cleanness and praise. It frees them from evil spirit and guides them to get home. 5. Pan de Muerto, bread of the dead. This peculiar food can represent two things. Pan de Muerto may signify the body of Christian according to the Christian religion, with others points out that is an offering that represents the bones of the deceased. 6. Calaveritas. Calaveritas represent death according to the tradition of Mesoamerican cultures. They can be made of sugar or chocolate. Papel picado, sheeted paper. The sheeted paper on the altar represents the hair, one of the four elements to giving colors and joy the offering. Food. The food is the light the dead who visit the altar. The dishes and drinks that decide like it are placed on the altar. Photography. And photography of the person to whom the offering will be dedicated is placed on the altar.
This holiday is so famous that the Disney company makes a movie called Coco, which is inspired with the celebration of the Day of the Dead, in which the Pixar them in charge of this movie traveled several times to the country to catch the colors, the festivities, but a lot of all the traditions that are part of the Mexican culture.